Hi, class. All right, so if you've gotten to the end of unit activity here, it's to present an argument. And I just wanted to go over this assignment with you and give you some tips. One tip I'm going to give you is that you should be writing outside of this because I had a student already work for a couple hours and then left it idle and the essay disappeared. And because I hate that happening, my favorite is to use Google Drive, which you can find here. And you should be able to get to a Google Drive attached to your DOE account. So, one trick is to sign in way up here with your DOE account. So you see that's where I've signed in so that my entire Google Chrome is connected to this account. And then everything I do in here is connected to the same account. And then it makes it really easy to work through all the systems. So you'll just go and you'll start a brand new Google Doc. And that way, when you're working on this unit activity, instead of writing in these boxes right away, you can write over here in your Google Doc, which saves everything, right? If you're worried about me getting it, you can share it with me. You just press the share button and put my, title it argument and then share it with S King 4 at schools, and that would be me. And then I've got it, even if it doesn't get through here, right? But then you can also cut and paste whatever you write and put it back in here. So this is a great place to plan. If you want to pull that, you can just go Command C to copy it, and then when you go Command V, it's over here and you've got this, right? And you can plan your hook, you can plan your claim, you can plan all these pieces. So, read the assignment. Let's read it together. In this task, you will present an argument on a topic related to fairness, equality, and justice. Imagine that you've been asked to present an argument to your classmates. Choose one of the topics in the following list for your presentation. Okay. Privacy fairness, right, where the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution helps protect the right of citizens to keep personal behavior and matters private. However, teenagers' right to privacy is controversial due to the balance of teens' rights versus parents' duty to protect their children. Present an argument about whether teens should have the same right to privacy as adults. Disability rights. The disability rights movement is meant to ensure equal opportunity for people with disabilities. Present an argument about whether people with disabilities need stronger protections under the law. Or marketing to youth. Technology has changed how advertising is delivered to the public, often allowing advertisers to specifically target children and teenagers. Present an argument about whether it is just to restrict advertising targeted to youth. Now, if these topics don't work for you, please just contact me and let's have a conversation because, this theme, fairness, equality, and justice, is really broad. And most of you didn't pick topics like this when you did your initial discussion. There was quite a few people that picked Black Lives Matter since that's so in the news. And I can see an argument around that, like whether we should defund the police or not. That's really controversial. It's in the news right now. So if that works better for you and you'd like to do that as your topic, I see no problem with it, since really what the task is asking you to understand these pieces of an argument and how to create one and put it together. So the plan is really important. You want to make sure you have a claim. You want to make sure you have evidence, data that supports that claim. You want to make sure you have a warrant where you explain how the details and evidence support the claim. This is really key. This is something that students often leave out. You can't just put evidence in and let it sit. You have to explain how it connects to what you're saying. You're using that evidence to make your point. For instance, if I was arguing that I needed a later curfew, I might cite statistics on how safe I would be and then use that to explain how that safety would be. I'm safe at night. All right, a counterclaim. You're going to want to make sure you include that opposing claim. That is the thinking about what the other side might say, right? If I'm saying I think that we should defund the police, the other side might say, but we need the police for safety. And so my counterclaim would be, you might say, we need the police for safety, but there's these other ways in which we could get that safety. That would be counterclaim. And the rebuttal, right, where you negate that counterclaim. All right, so here's the space where you get to draft. And again, I really recommend drafting on a separate paper, right? So put your draft here and then cut and paste it back into the unit activity. This is where you get to add some digital media. So, you could add a presentation using a presentation software. And so for that, if you're going to do a PowerPoint, you could also use Google Slides. Google Slides is a great presentation software. Again, just because it's Google, it saves everything and you won't lose any of your work. And it's got all these helpful tools with themes and things to make it look the way you want. And finally, it's time to deliver and present. Now, this is the rubric, right? So I am going to be looking at that, or you're using eye contact, but you're going to do it with a screen because we don't have the ability to do it in class. So here's an interesting trick. I am looking right at the little green dot right now in my camera, and it kind of looks like I'm looking at you. That's how you do eye contact in this medium. It's weird. It feels strange, but you'll notice people who are adept at it and people who are not when you're watching, filmed Zoom calls and things. So people who are not clear that this is eye contact, look at the screen, and then it looks really kind of strange. They're not talking to you, they're talking to the screen. But if they look right at the camera, they're talking directly to you. So that's eye contact. Speaking rate is the pace that you speak at. Volume is loud enough to be heard by your microphone. Enunciation is, are you clear enough so that I understand your words? Purposeful gestures are, if you do use a gesture, it's for a reason, not just, random moving your hands around, but to convey, I want us to get closer, or we aren't looking at the big picture, or, something like that. And then we're looking for the language that you're using, that it's appropriately, not too formal, not too informal. Remember, this is a school presentation, so you want to use a more formal, more academic language than you might use if you're just talking to your friends. And that's what we're going to be looking for. So you'll make a short video of yourself doing this presentation, and you'll submit that too. Okay. And it looks like you could insert an image that you'd taken or take a picture here. So if you had your file, you could send it here. You can also just email it to me, right? And that's your presentation. That's what we're looking for. And that's the alternative to the post test, right? So, you might score much better on this than on the post test because tests just aren't your thing. And that's why we want both of these scores. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you're going to be able to complete this unit and move on to unit 2 so that we can make sure that you pass this class and get this credit. All right, please contact me if you're having trouble so that I can support you and know what to do next.